Currently one of the best builds in the entire game, combines the new Arc Titan Storm Grenades with Heart of Inmost Light, which gives you up to 800% increased ability regen and 35% more damage for abilities. But the major downside is that the build is high risk, high reward, and you don't have a good source of health regen. Yo, what's going on guys, it's G Miners here, and in this video we are going to be combining Heart of Inmost Light with Void 3.0. I made a similar build back when Witch Queen came out, so today we're just going to have some changes for that build to fit into the current sandbox, and with this we are going to be heavily relying on the chain explosions that Controlled Demolition allows us to pull off. Just by killing one enemy, everything nearby should chain detonate and die, and then every time we do get an explosion kill like this, we are going to be giving ourselves and nearby allies chunks of healing. Depending on what you choose to run, you are also going to be able to weaken, suppress, apply Volatile, gain overshields, and then also have Devour, which are 5 of the 6 main features of Void 3.0, and technically you could have Invis as well. We are also going to be pairing this with some Void weapons that synergize with the build depending on what is needed. For general play, I think Void SMGs feel the best, but we also do have Lay Monarch to deal with overloads and in GMs, and Collective Obligation, which pairs super well with our Void setup and also has unstopped rounds this season. All of these weapons will also be benefiting from Volatile rounds and a Void weapon boost with some of our aspects and fragments, and we are also going to be pairing this build with some mods that give us a buff as well. So assuming everything is stacking at the same time, we can apply a debuff, have a buff, and gain a weapon boost from Font of Might all on our own, which takes us from base damage up to over a 70% damage increase. If you guys do enjoy these videos and you want to see more like them, make sure to drop a like and sub down below. Only 15% of you guys that watch these videos are currently subscribed, so click that button. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at our subclass layout first. Your super isn't going to matter as much with this build, so run whatever is best for the activity you're in. For your melee, I typically run Shield Throw because I can spam it easily with Heart of Inmost Lights, and then for your grenade, run whatever you think is going to be best. Scatter, Vortex, and Suppressor Nades are my top 3 options, and these can easily be changed for whatever is needed as well. Aspect-wise, first up is going to be Controlled Demolition. This is a super strong aspect, probably the single strongest of all the Void 3.0 ones we have. With this, we are now going to be able to apply Volatile with all of our abilities, and on top of this, anytime a Volatile explosion goes off, this will also apply Volatile to enemies nearby, which means Volatile effects will permanently stay applied and spread to nearby enemies. Whenever we get a kill and Volatile targets explode near us, this is also when we're going to be giving ourselves and nearby teammates chunks of healing. After this, we have on Offensive Bulwark. Anytime that we have an overshield or are inside of the Ward of Dawn bubble, we get 400% increased grenade regen and 100% increased melee damage. Melee kills will also extend the duration of overshields too. The best part about this is that the shield throw gives us an overshield for each target hit. So by throwing this and dropping a barricade, we get 800% increased grenade regen through our exotic armor, and then another 400% through Offensive Bulwark. For our fragments, there is a bunch you can run that will still be viable with the build. I'm going to be going over my 4 personal favorite to pair together, then 2 additional ones that I think are good substitutes, and then 2 fragments that seem like they would be really strong, but are actually not worth using. Echo of Undermining is going to give our Void Grenades the ability to apply Weaken to enemies. This is a 15% debuff, so anything weakened will now just take 15% more damage from all sources. Echo of Expulsion causes kills we get on enemies with our Void abilities to trigger an explosion. This will pair with Controlled Demolition and the Volatile explosions to increase the chain detonations that we make, and it should increase the damage when both Volatile and Expulsion explosions go off at the same time. Echo of Instability is going to give us Volatile rounds on grenade kills. This will only apply for our Void weapons, and the main reason we have this on is to increase the mid game of the build whenever we are waiting for grenades or melee abilities to regen, which is only a few seconds. This is a good filler for ad clear. Lastly, I am running Echo of Starvation. This gives Devour on orb pickup, and then with the Devour buff, we are going to get 15 to 25% grenade energy back per kill we get, while this is procced, and we also get full health back on every single kill. The 2 mods that I would sub in if you guys want are going to be Echo of Persistence and Obscurity. This increases Overshield and Devour effects, and then gives invis on finishers. These would be especially useful in Grandmaster Nightfalls to increase survivability. On the other hand, Echo of Provision and Echo of Exchange seem like they would be two really strong options for the build, but they aren't. These give grenade energy back on melee hits and melee energy back on grenade kills. However, the energy provided isn't as strong as something like Heart of Inmost Light, and the energy provided is also extremely inconsistent in the case of Provision. So I wanted to mention that in case anyone thought these would be the perfect fit for the build. They sound super good on paper, but don't really help compared to Hoyle. I've went over this a bunch in other builds, but just in case you are new to Destiny or haven't used this exotic, with Heart of Inmost Light, anytime we use an ability, the other two abilities become empowered. Empowered abilities last 10 seconds and they are refreshed when another ability is used again. This also stacks up to 2 times. So if we manage to place down 2 barricades in less than these 10 seconds, our melee and grenade will reach empowerment times 2, just as a simple example. At times 2, our melee and grenade both get 800% increased ability cooldown, and our barricade gets 300% at times 2 as well, which sounds like a lot less, but since we do have tier 10 resilience and we do have the empowerment, this has something like a 5 or 6 second cooldown, which is nuts. Damage-wise, our melees get a 20% increase and our grenades are getting a 35% increase at times 2 as well. The mods that I am running on this build are as follows. For getting a constant buff, I'm running Taking Charge, so that grabbing an Orb of Power gives me 1 stack of Charged with Light. And then I also have on High Energy Fire, which is a 20% weapon damage buff as long as I am charged. This does consume 1 stack each time we get a kill, so you will want a way to consistently create orbs. And the other main reason I have these two on the build is so that we can also grab Orbs of Power when our super is charged, so that we can always proc Devour. After this, I'm running Elemental Ordnance to spawn in Elemental Wells on Grenade Kill, Bountiful Wells, which double the amount of Elemental Wells I spawn in at base, and then Font of Might, which is how we get the Void Weapon boost for another 25% increase to weapon damage. As I mentioned, with this setup, we can now throw a Weaken Grenade, get Font of Might to proc, and then also use a Void Weapon with everything to hit for a 1.73x modifier from our base damage. This is still one of my favorite builds in the entire game and one of the main reasons I like playing Void Titan. I will admit that currently the Arc Storm Grenades are way stronger than any Void build, and since we do have almost all Arc Burn in GMs, Arc is going to be way better in that setting too, but I still think that Void Titan is one of the best subclasses in the game, and ever since Solar and Arc got updated, this has kind of been slept on. Let me know your thoughts on the build in the comments below, and I also do stream a bunch over on Twitch. If you guys want to watch some low mans, speedruns, and some other PvE challenges live, a link is in the description below, along with my Discord server if you guys want to get dim links to the builds I post. Anyways, that's all for this video, guys. As always, have a good one. Peace.